Hello, this is Marianne. I'm an English instructor, and then actually it's my very first video on YouTube. So what I want to do is currently I'm teaching some vocabulary and grammar to English beginners. My students are actually the very basic beginners. So I thought it would be fun to share how I teach and the teaching methods that I use because some of them are pretty effective. They like it during the class, so just for fun, I think it would be a good idea to share. Other than that, I don't have many students, as you see, the empty classroom. So yeah, okay. So I'd like to show you how I teach the vocabulary. The book that I use, I'm not gonna show the book cover. It may violate the copyright, but anyway, it's the vocabulary about the TOEIC, which is the famous English test in Korea. Many students are taking it. Okay, so let me begin with the day one. Okay, I'm not gonna show the pages of the book, but let me type. Okay, you see it, right? I really like this feature that I can record in the Zoom. Okay, the first word, day one, the first word is hold. So when I teach this word, I give some example of a cup holder because Korean students are very familiar with cup holders. You know, there's so many Starbucks and cafes in Korea. So hold. So example sentence, she's holding a pen in her right hand. So yeah, literally she's holding a pen in her right hand. Number two, yeah, for the easy words, I'm not gonna add a lot of explanation. Number two, arrange, arrange. So it means to organize, right? So yeah, arrange. So it could also has a meaning to prepare. So arrange a meaning, it doesn't mean that you organize. I mean, you're not literally physically organizing. You're not putting some documents onto each people's desk spot. You're being ready, right? You're preparing a meeting. So I teach two things. Arrange, one is to organize. The other is to prepare. Third word, pass. It's an easy word as well. So I link this word to a passage. Passage as an aisle or a walkway. I like to teach the collocation and the synonyms to students, the not hard ones, so that they can link them and they can memorize them in a group. So pass, right? So it has two meanings. One is literally like you pass through some woods, or second one, you hand out, right? Do you see me? You hand out the document or you hand out something. So it has two meanings. One is to pass under the bridge or through the woods, or second one is you hand out something. Number four, reach. So when I do this, I literally like do some body movements that I'm trying to reach something. Yeah. So example sentences, a customer is reaching for some merchandise. My students are not very familiar with the TOEIC English, like business English, so I have to explain the merchandise and customer here if necessary. They may be familiar with the word customer because they hear it from TV commercial from time to time, but merchandise. So when I teach the word merchandise, so I ask students if they know what a merchant is. You know, it's a vendor, right? A seller. So if they get merchant, a merchant means a seller, then I tell that merchandise is the goods or products that merchants sell. Good. Okay. All right. And then reach, not just the physical meaning, but it could also mean, like, it could have a more metaphorical meaning, such as reach a conclusion. So I teach both physical meaning as you're trying to reach an object that's far away, and second, you try to reach a conclusion, which is more metaphorical. Number five, adjust. So, yeah, It means like when I teach this word, I give an example of a camera, a very expensive camera where you can adjust the, what's the brightness or the, like the contrast. So you adjust a lot of like different functions of the very expensive camera, right? Or the microphone or the amplifier speaker, when it's an expensive one, there are a lot of like buttons and some tools to adjust it. So I usually show the pictures. So I do a lot of Googling for the image because I think the Googling the image and video are very effective ways to like make students remember it, and students like that as well. So if I type adjust, Koreans tend to put the accent at the back of the word, like adjust to. I always try to fix that. Students, it's not adjust to, it's adjust, adjust. So you speed out, and then you come back very quickly. You have to come back, adjust, just like this. So image, adjust. So you can definitely adjust a volume. Where is it? Yeah, I see some tool, right? Adjust the volume. You can adjust the balance and so on. Oh, there is a nice icon, adjust icon. I like it. All right, let me move on to the sixth word, which is number 6. Point. It's another easy word. So I do some pointing. I'm pointing at you. I'm pointing to the wall, something like that. Let's move on. Number 7, load, L-O-A-D. So it means to load some item onto something, right? And when I teach this word, I always say, okay, loading 중. 중 means ing, something is going on in Korean. So when we, Koreans, they use a lot of computer and they are heavy on the cyber world. And so Koreans are very familiar with the phrase loading 중. But actually it's wrong. It should be loaded 중, right? Because when loading means load is going on, it should be loaded 중, right? Anyway, they get it. They get it pretty well when I say it like this. Number 8, occupied. When I teach this word, I always show the image of a restroom in a plane because I don't know whether you have noticed, but if you go to the plane and if you go to a restroom and if you get inside and lock the door, you would see this, occupied or vacant plane. My students, they have, most of them have like taken an airplane, but they never have focused on this science. So if you go to lavatory, you will see the occupied. So next time, I don't know when that would be, but I tell my students to look at the vocabulary on the lavatory. All right, I can move on to the next page. I have band. So yeah, band, it's like literally you're banding, right? You're band. Nothing much to say. Band. Number 10. Lean. Lean. There is a singer, a female singer in Korea. Her name is Lin. Of course, it's not L-E-A-N. It's, I think, L-Y-N-N or not. But yeah, she sings very like, how to say that? Very soft, and her style is very soft. She likes to sing a lot of like love songs. So, but sometimes the image that she conveys, it's a little bit dependent, I think. A very dependent woman misses the boy or man who had abandoned her. Anyway, so I don't say this to students, but that's just my personal thinking. Lean means to depend, right? To depend. Park. Park. There are a lot of last names with park in Korea, right? Anyway, it doesn't have to do with the last name. Park has 2 meanings. One is the physical space with a lot of grass and wood in a city. Second was to park your car, right? So when I teach English, I feel like it has so many synonyms. This phenomenon is not that serious in Korean. We only have few words that have multiple meanings. So dun. Dun also, I mean, nun has a meaning of an eye, and also nun means snow. That's it, just two. But I think park, well, this is one example, but I see so many English vocabulary with so many multiple meanings. Anyway, park is one of them. All right, number 12. I think I'm running out of space, so I'm gonna type it here, number 12. Throw away, the first phrasal verb I have. So when I teach this word, I ask students whether they know the movie Cast Away because I want to explain the expression away. It means something is like getting far away, right? Getting far. So throw away. You throw a trash and then it leaves you, right? It gets far away because it's in the trash can and you're moving, right? So throw away. Yeah, I try to teach away when I teach this phrase. Number 13, pack, another easy word, pack or package, right? You're waiting for a package and you're waiting for your delivery man to deliver your awaited package, right? And when I teach this, I ask students how do you say the opposite meaning of pack? And they answer this pack or not pack, but it's unpack, right? Unpack, which is the prefix. Number 14, overlook. Oh, I like this word because it also has multiple meanings. So when I teach this word overlook, I again go to Google and show some picture of overlook. Usually the top of the mountains, right? Overlook, because overlook means you look down from a high place. Also, I say like when you see from a very top, like when you see from a helicopter, you won't be able to spot a very little bird on a grass, right? So overlook also means to ignore. If you overlook something, you ignore that thing. You're not putting much importance onto it. Okay, number 15. Aisle. So I like this word because the alphabet S is not pronounced here. So when I say this word, I teach island as well because again, S is not pronounced. It's island, not Iceland. So I think students find this quite marvelous. Island. And I like to show a video for this word because I found very interesting video about this word aisle. Where is it? So in the video, there's a man and he explains the reason why he likes the aisle sit, and it's because he always gets the worn armrest. That was funny. Where can I find it? Aisle sit. Oh, it's the image. I'm not looking for an image. So yeah, before I start the class, I make sure every video that I want to show is like waiting for me. I mean, they should be, how do I say? They should be in the underbar. I'll sit. Yeah, so it's the video. This guy, he explains that he can get at least one arm rest. That's why he prefers an aisle sit. All right, 16. Fill. In Korea, there are many cafes and then we can ask for refill. Refill, if you ask for a refill, you can get it's usually free, only for the Americano though. So can I get a refill? So fill means to, like, you pour something and you make it to the top again, right? Fill. Also, you know, Korean women are famous for like plastic surgery, and so they're familiar with the concept of a filler. You put the filler usually on your nose or on your wrinkles. So fill, they can learn this word easily. 17, inspect. Inspect. So I tell my students to focus on the part in. So you're looking something in it and very carefully. So inspect means if you inspect a restaurant, you could watch very carefully about its cleanness or about its hygiene. So inspect, inspect. Interestingly, when I teach this word, and I said that if you inspect the health, if you inspect the restaurant, you check the hygiene. And she said she's in charge of that hygiene inspection, so it's funny. I'm gonna erase all of it, restart, 18. Trim. I like this word because, you know, these days many people want to be YouTubers. So they have to be familiar with the video editing. And if you have to edit the video, you should trim the unnecessary parts, right? Usually the beginning and the end. So yeah, when I say this video editing students, usually they're in their 20s or 30s, they're very interested. Or I say I have to trim my hair. I have a long hair and like, yeah, the length are not even. Do you see it? So I have to trim and make the length even. 19. Pave. Okay. Pave. So again, I do the Google image searching for this one. Pavement. Because I get a very nice picture of the paved roads or streets, right? Pave. 20. Assemble. Assemble. So if people assemble, that means they gather, or if you assemble pieces, that means you're putting it all together and making it a certain form. I usually tell the story of an IKEA because if you buy a product or furniture from IKEA, you always have to assemble. And my students, they're usually like university students or they just moved out of their parents' house, so they have some experiences of buying one or two IKEA furnitures. So sometimes I get some one or two funny stories when they were assembling. 21. Sail. So when I teach this word, I bring up the old Japanese animation character Sailor Moon. My favorite character was Mars, yeah, the one with the long hair. Anyway, sailor, they're the people, yeah, these one. They're the people, right, on the ship. So they usually have a very big collar, right, the clothes. So sail means to be on the ship, right? Okay. 22. Mow. Oh, another my favorite word because not only that I like how it sounds, but mow. Again, mow. If you look at the picture, how often to mow the lawn? And when I teach this word, I say that in America, if you don't take a good care of your grass or lawn, you could be sued by your neighbor. And when I say this, they're very interested because in Korea, there are not many mostly it's apartments. Many people live in the buildings with a lot of stories or a lot of floors. So they're very fascinated by the fact that everybody gets to have their own yard or own grass. Okay. 23. Copy, another easy word. So if you make a copy, you make another same version of a document. 24. Or let me put that onto here. Perform. Okay, I sometimes get the music students and then they're very familiar with this word already because they have performed many times in their lives. So perform, right? And also performance, it could mean not just the musical performance, but also it could mean how you do, right? So if you get a low rate on your performance, then that means that how you did wasn't good. Performance. in Korean. Transport. Oh, I like this word. I think I like every word. So I like this word because I like to explain the part trans. Trans. It means to change, right? Trans fat has the I think hydrogen form of the fat. When it is changed, it's called a trans fat. Also transgender, they have changed their gender. And transformer, they change their forms, right? When I say these three examples, they like it a lot, my students. And port, it means harbor, right? So when harbor is changed, it means it means to carry or to move, right? Transport. 26. Shop. It could have verb and noun, right? You do the shopping or you go to a shop. So you can do the shopping at a shop. I like it. Well, shopkeeper, it means the owner of a house usually, or it could be a part-timer. Shop. Pour, I do some physical acting in front of people. Pour, right? You pour beer. Do you know that if you pour the beer, when you pour the beer, you have to, how would I say that? Like, if you tilt your beer cup, you don't get a lot of bubbles. I didn't know that. I knew it recently. So pour, I say that. I say how to pour beer without bubbles to students, and yeah, then they get the word pour more easily. 28. Shade. So I think students are pretty familiar with this word, shade, or it could also mean a blind, right? Shade. 29. I think I'm gonna stop here because I realized that like I wanted to finish day one, but day one is quite long. I just did about 28 words, right? So day one consists of like 60 words. Okay, so I'm gonna do the rest of it next time. Thank you for watching, and yeah, if you like it, come see me again. Bye.